as the winner. So
and that dude knows.
Accident, didn't he?
yes, he fought Spence right before the accident. Yes. But Spence, he had to deal with a different Porter too. So they both got they work in on that fight. So was Porter a little bit more lesser or thinner than he was before Spence's fight? Yes. I mean, because that was a rough fight. They were both like, they were going toe to toe in that fight. And I actually edged Porter out in that fight against Spence. But Spence is the money guy, and Spence had 2 belts already. And they really were looking forward to this Bud and versus Spence fight. So I think that kind of swayed favor with that Porter fight in Spence's, camp. Like, I feel like that helped him secure his win more so than anything else.
Danny, checking out the press conference, when you looked at both fighters, did anyone look more drained than the other? Like one of them had to make weight harder, or what you thought? Did you see anything?
You want to know something, man? I've been on that level, and unfortunately, when I was at that level, the times I given the opportunity, I wasn't really. I should have been a fighter that doesn't fight is not a fighter, and a professional is always be in shape. Those guys are professionals. They're the top of the line. They're the top of the food chain. I didn't see anything in particular as far as like either one of them being drained. I just seen Crawford a little bit more relaxed.
Okay. I got you.
Is he on pain? Is he on pain medication from the accident?
What did he say?
Crawford?
Say it again. We couldn't hear you.
I said when he had the accident, are they allowed to be on pain medication?
Yeah. As long as they don't have a fight coming up right then, yeah, they can be on pain medication.
Well, I'm just wondering if he was relaxed because he took.
I'm talking about Crawford.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, I said Crawford. When I looked at them, you try to pick up some tells and stuff like that. I didn't see them, either one of them, they didn't really look dehydrated to me. They weren't sipping on water the whole time, like trying to rehydrate and stuff. They look, both look kind of relaxed, but I seen that Spence was a little bit more edgy. I don't know if that's just, his coach is talking a lot of shit. So,
the fight started.
Danny, I was just going to ask you, man, do you think the coaches play a major role in this fight? The 2 coaches.
They both have a great resumes. Both of them, they both know what they're doing. They didn't get there by chance. Crawford is who he is because of the people he has around him, and that the same thing could be said by Spence. A lot of times these coaches, and I've been a coach. People say I just became a coach. I've been a coach for 20 years. I just was focused more on my career. And I did what I had to do to survive at certain points in my life, right? But coaches nowadays, everybody's better. Everybody has a better technique. They walk different. They talk different. Look, man, just put your work in the gym. Like the fighters, shut the hell up and let your work do speak for itself, right? But talking about those 2 guys, and I'm I've studied them a little bit just since this whole Spence Crawford fight. They both know what they're doing. They both have a great idea. They got these kids and they're kids because I'm an old man already, but these kids, they got them to this point where they're at right now. And I'm just blessed and honored to be alive and live during this era when I could see these 2 gentlemen go to war.
Right, for sure. I mean, it's a special moment in time when we get to see like the best of a division really fighting each other in their prime, undisputed, both of them. So we're all very blessed as boxing fans to be able to live to see that happen, because we kind of got cheated a little bit with the Mayweather Pacquiao scenario, as they were already kind of like, not in the prime of their careers.
Danny, do you feel like this is the best fight that can be made right now in boxing?
Who else is out there?
Right.
Who else is out there that you want to see fight? Whatever. You got some really talented guys. Boots, I think, is the future. You have a couple guys out there, but a lot of these kids, nowadays, when I was fighting, and it wasn't that much long ago, but everybody's a social media star right now. So I just think that a little bit of that zest and I'm not taking a shot at them. I mean, God bless them, right? But I'm not taking a shot at them. But the reality of it is, everybody's a superstar before they even earn the right to have that label, right? But I just think that Spence and Crawford, they earned the right to be where they're at. Be it as it may, oh, they should have fought here, they should have fought there. By no mistake, it happens when it needs to happen, right? So I just think that if they live up to the hype, we as fans will not be let down. The only other time I was really this excited, and it was before Michael went on vacation. I wanted to see Mike fight Lennox Lewis. I wanted to see Mike fight, and then he went on vacation in Holyfield. He went on vacation, and to me, it took away from that because when he came out, he wasn't the same animal, right? But these guys, to me, outside of the accident, it's prime time. It's prime time.
Right.
The best of the best. Well, Danny, before you actually chime out, we do want to just have you stick around so you can get introduced to our amazing friend and our manager, our publicist, our main support system. And he's going to be at the actual fights this weekend, maybe with Emilio. So we're going to have to see Tim, our brand ambassador.
Hello. How's it going?
Awesome.
We ain't seen you since the dinner, Tim. That's the last time we saw you, when we had that Italian dinner.
That was a lovely. That was a lovely time. That was the Tank. That was the Tank Ryan fight, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But,
sure.
I'm just packing for Vegas. I'm really excited and thrilled to be going to the fight. And I just think that you've got two supremely talented young men, absolutely prime of their careers, and each of them have got like God-given different gifts. When you look at what Spence can do to a man, the way he can break a man down, with a hammer of a jab, and then you look at Crawford, he throws from such incredible angles with speed, with like absolute viciousness. I don't think there's many people better when they smell blood as Terence, and I think like I have Crawford winning the fight in the late rounds, because I think he's got the boxing IQ to get around the Spence jab and find the angles that he needs to find to slow Spence down. And when he slows Spence down the way that he slowed Porter down, Terence goes to work. And you've all said exactly the same thing. You've said the Porter fight is the measuring stick. And again, I'm a huge boxing fan. I was at that fight, and I thought Porter was winning the fight until the knockdown. Right. I thought he really gave Spence gave him fit, and Terence dealt with him so easily. Different animals, but I that's no demeaning Spence. The same as it's no demeaning Stephen Fulton. What happened to him the other night? Right. He went out. He fought a guy that is special, and he got beaten by a special guy. But he went to the other guy's country.
Yes,
and he took on the challenge, and he there's no shame in that fight. Well, the thing for Stephen Fulton now is, how does he come back from that? If he comes back from that and starts winning fights and impressing people again, then we know we've got a true great on our hands. Or if he does what Rigondeaux did after losing to Nonito and just fall off, different. And we're going to see this weekend. You've got two guys who don't know what it means to lose. And like one of them, just like Ryan and Tank, they've both gone through their lives believing they were destined to never lose. So when you have to process the fact that this ride that you've been on isn't full of invincibility, the true champions are the ones that realize that doesn't matter. That's part of the journey. That's what and the defeats, they're just lessons. If you take a defeat, you can look at the tape, you can study it, and you can work out how to come back a better person, whether you're playing sport, whether you're doing business. Every defeat is a lesson.
Well, when you have a good coach, that's what they're supposed to do. I mean,
absolutely. But it's down to the fighter. A coach can only do so much. It's either in you or it isn't. Yeah. You're either a dog or you're not a dog. And That's what
and a coach. That's why they're a coach. They are supposed to see that in you. I mean, you know, I don't know if they're like dance moms, but they
know, do you? No, but you look at like what happened to Nassim Hamed, right? He was beating everybody. He was showing off. He was coming in on the throne. Barrera took his soul.
Yeah.
He only fought one more time. He was finished because of one defeat. And that's a guy whose whole career was based on showbiz.
Well, it was the ego. Yeah, ego. His ego.
Absolutely. And
if I could chime in, I'm sorry, if I could chime in, and me as a coach right now, I moved to this country and I've been noticing a lot of guys at these fights, and it's a little bit disgusting because guys are so afraid to lose that O that they're not willing to fight anybody. And they fight, you know, guys that like, who's going to pay these kids to fight anybody if you're not willing to fight somebody and put it on the line? You know, that's why I commend these guys. At any point, it's not too late. Floyd Mayweather and Pacquiao, to me, was too late. It was far gone, right? But I think right now is a perfect time. They're putting their zero on the line, you know, and you got to commend one. They're both winners in my name, in my book.
100%.
You know? And these guys nowadays, I'm sorry, and I have to say this, I'll say it out loud, man. I got into the ring, I got my butt kicked 7 times, and I beat 34 guys, right? But I'll never diminish those guys. I'll never diminish those guys and what they did. They showed up that day and they beat me. They beat the best version that I had to offer that day. But I showed up. These guys are afraid to show up, afraid to take fights, undefeated. What's an undefeated record when you're not fighting anybody? And I commend these guys for doing it.
100%.
Yeah, that's what happened with Fulton. He at least attempted. He went for it.
And
he
Garcia
took the risk.
And Garcia. Garcia fought a beast. You know, all these fighters, like, you can't blame them, right? They're following a blueprint that the greatest fighter of their generation set, which was Floyd. And Floyd's whole career was based on an O. So obviously, a lot of unimaginative promoters will want you to trade on exactly the same sort of route that Floyd could take. But that wasn't just it with Floyd. People will always forget what he was doing to people on the way up.
Right.
He wasn't money. He was pretty boy. He was a different fighter. And all these fighters, again, the opportunity now is for, if this fight's amazing, they can do it 2 times, 3 times, 4 times. And it's history, you know, and it's legacy. Mm-hmm. And they make the money they deserve.
Right.
You know, so it doesn't matter. Like, if you look at Marquez and Pacquiao, they took plenty of defeats, but they are stone cold legends. Like, we will never forget those boys for what they gave us.
Absolutely.
Well, you know, I think.
I'm sorry. Look at Mickey Ward. Look at Arturo Gatti. Their fights. I mean, I was watching a fight the other day with Diego Corrales. You know, the guy was. I mean, to me, that fight should have been stopped when he got knocked down. And the dude came back up and did what he had to do. These guys weren't afraid of, I'm sorry to say, we're an adult show, of getting their asses kicked. Because that's what you got to do. You got to go in there and be willing to get it as well as willing to give it.
Right.
100.
I mean, Andre Ward has admitted that he was a terrible loser. Like, he just had that. He said he didn't like it, not one bit. And after he experienced, he said he would do anything to make sure that feeling, he didn't have to feel it again. I mean,
show me a great athlete who's a good loser. Show me a great athlete who's a good loser.
But they weren't hard. But they weren't
driven. They're different people. They're totally different people. Their whole lives are conditioned to winning, and everything about that. You know, even if they're like having a race with their kids, you know, they have to win because it's innate, and they have to be like that because they are that their whole lives depend on that when they walk into the ring. So every bit of focus that it takes, we all know boxing is the hardest sport in the world. We all know that. We all agree with that. We all know what it takes for these guys to get down to weight, go in a ring, knowing that they could get their asses kicked by somebody who's possibly one of the best fighters of all time. But they're going in, both of them, to do that. Boxing's incredible. Incredible. And this weekend, you know, I'm definitely going to send you guys some videos. all really, really excited about it. I think that we've got potentially one of the great all-time fights that we'll talk about for years. And if you think about it, even now, Triple G and Canelo fights, they feel like legacy fights now. They feel like legendary fights. And, you know, it takes time after a fight for you to know how important it really was. And so we won't know for a moment, right, how much it really mattered. But
yeah. I thank you so much for being our brand ambassador out there and getting us the footage that we need this weekend for the fans to be able to see, you know. But I'm looking forward, Tim, to when you actually are in front of the T-Mobile and you go through your little breakdown. I don't know if you have anything planned or not yet, but I love that.
I'll have it all in my. I'll work it out in my brain on the long drive over tomorrow. I'm very, very excited, but I'm going to go back to packing now. It's really nice to meet you all, and I loved listening to what you guys were saying. Absolutely amazing.
All right, thanks, Tim. We'll see you this weekend.
Definitely.
All right, take care. Yeah, what a wonderful guy. He's, you know, of course you can hear he's a Brit, but he's also a Los Angeles for many years now, and he's just an amazing guy. That likes to support us whenever he can. And he doesn't miss any of the big fights. Like he makes sure he drives from LA to Vegas for these fights, and you know, kind of makes it a weekend type thing.
It's in LA, he right there.
Oh yeah, and if it's in LA, he's there. But Tati, I want to go back to what Tati was saying, because sometimes, you know, you were saying that when they do have a loss, then they work harder. That's true if they're a real fighter at heart, right?
Because even me, if someone tells me no, or I feel like I lost, or I didn't get my word across, I just go harder. Like, don't tell me no. If you don't want me to do something, don't say no. Just say yes and let me win. But otherwise than that, I don't know. That's how it's supposed to be. And I was saying, a lot of these fighters don't want to fight and lose, but I think it's the era of these people with millennials, whatever they call them, where they think that everybody should get a trophy and everybody should win, and there's no winning and losing, or everybody should everybody is, you know, I don't know what they do, but my mom, I grew up with a dance mom. My mom would take you in the back. She was the coach. You lose, guess what? You better not lose. So, you know,
wow.
You better not lose. Still to this day, you better not lose. She don't play none of that handicap stuff. That don't matter to her. But it's just it's a win or lose thing, and you have to go in. If you're good and you believe in yourself and you're good, you're gonna do it. But you're gonna do it to the best. You may lose, but you're losing at your best, like you said. And I mean, I don't know. That's what I want to see. I don't want to see two people get a trophy and make it a call and knock someone out so I can see the difference. And you're either good or you're not. That's it. Period. You know how many? I'll just say. So I've had 2 TKOs, and let me tell you, I don't want to do it again because I don't want to lose. But I will do it again because I know that, you know what I'm saying? Like it has to be done. There has to be a winner. You have to prove how good you are. Period. Either you good or you get the hell out of the ring. That's it.
That's what these guys are trying to do. They're trying to prove that they're the best at their division. After years at this division, they want to prove like, hey, I'm the king of this welterweight division.
But so, you gotta do it by well, I don't want to say by losing, but you gotta do it. You gotta fight for that spot. And there is no, well, I'm just gonna go up this ladder and tap you. And no, that's not this game. That go play softball, you know, like, no, we're not doing
well, Danny, he was the type of boxer where he was like, oh, you're gonna have to prove to me that I don't belong here, like, or that I'm not the winner, because he, you know, even if he's supposed to be, you know, the underdog, he still like made those weights and got in there with these, you know, sometimes beast of people that, you know, later we found out some things about some of his opponents, but yeah, I don't want to get into that tonight.
You want to know something? I won't take nothing away from them. You know, my philosophy with my kids is, if you're a professional fighter, be professional and be in shape. It wasn't my trainer's fault or anybody else's fault that I got too comfortable, because a boxer that sleeps in silk drawers is not a hungry fighter, and I got a little too comfortable, right? So I would let myself balloon out of weight. But I'm gonna tell you, there was never one fight that I didn't think I could win. I always thought I could win. I took a fight, and I won't mention the guy's name because we all know him and you guys live near him. But I took a fight with like 12 days notice. I took a fight with 12 days notice, and when I went in there, I believed I could beat him. There was no doubt in my mind I could beat him. I mean, he got me. But if I wouldn't have showed up, I already lost. So I showed up. If I didn't show up, I wouldn't have got that paycheck. So I would have really lost, you know? So the reality of the situation is I put on my man pants on, I tied my laces up, and I went in to do what I had to do. He caught me before I caught him, and I give him kudos. I would never disrespect him like that because we're like, oh, I took a fight on short notice. Shit, you should always be in shape. So when that phone rings, it won't be short notice, you know? So, you know, I mean, look, just the other day we have an associate named Ray Sosa. He posted a picture of me. You know, I'm getting a little bit good shape for health. I'm not trying to fight nobody unless they have a bunch of zeros behind some numbers, you know. But you know, he's like, Danny, you know, needs to come out of retirement and all that. Listen, nowadays the way these kids are fighting, man, they're just afraid of losing. And I never like losing. I want to win at tic-tac-toe. I want to win at every argument. I want to win at everything. But
wait a minute. So they're not afraid of actually getting hurt. It's just the loss.
Losing.
They don't want the L on their back.
Sore losers.
I think it's both. I think they're afraid of losing and they're afraid of an ass whipping. Because let me tell you something. When I was a kid and I lived in the South Bronx and I came home crying to my mother because I got my butt kicked, my mom hit me, smacked me in my head or whatever, gave me a stick and said, go down and get your respect. Yeah. You know, and if I didn't go get my respect, my mom beat my ass. You know, nowadays kids are afraid to get their ass kicked.
Yeah, because they coddle them, no spankings, none of that. Like if you didn't
hold on just a minute now. Hold on now. I was a little coddled. I mean, I was told like, don't pay them no mind. They're just jealous.
Listen, I wasn't.
Like, as long as they don't put their hands on you, you know, just walk away.
I experienced a lot of racism. I've experienced a lot of different things in my life from people in my own culture. So I'm gonna tell you straight up how it is, man. I wasn't in that timeout. The only timeout was my mother taking a breather for beating my ass. You know what I mean? That's keeping it real. And I'm not condoning.
Which culture is that? Which culture are you talking about? Black or Puerto Rican or Jamaican?
I don't want to get into all that, you know. But I'm gonna tell you this right now. You know, the reality of the situation is that growing up, you know, and every generation is different. It's just you know, in general, kids are afraid of losing. They have 7th place prizes. Like, what is that?
Yeah,
you know?
7th place. It's 1, 2, and 3, right? And really,
that's it.
A winner. Just like I said earlier, all this, everybody gets a trophy. No, there's no places. Everybody's a winner. No, it's whoever gets there first. That's it. Like, why are we playing a sport if we can't see who's the best? Why are we telling 7th place winner?
100%. It's like Ricky Bobby says in Talladega Nights. 2nd place is the first loser.
Absolutely. I don't want to
be. That's what I'm
that.
saying. I mean, it is a 2nd place loser, but at the same time, I feel like when it comes to Spence versus Crawford, they both literally, truly, wholeheartedly believe that they are the best. So it's kind of hard, you know, to go in that ring, like, and you know that you feel like you're the best. If somebody in that, your opponent tells you or shows you rather that you're not, I want to know how that's going to affect each of these guys. Like, I'm just wondering if that's going to like really mentally do something to one of them, being that they're so confident.
Everything is different. Look, I went 22-0 before I lost my first fight. I lost in PR, Puerto Rico. I lost to a fellow Florida Hall of Famer, Rocky Torres. I took him for granted. I took him lightly. I thought I could walk right through him. And, you know, he walked me down. He did the rope-a-dope and got me, right? It took me damn near 2 years to recover from that mentally. I was so broken down that I didn't recover from that forever. Like, it took me forever. I mean, it was a lot going on because when you're winning, everybody loves you. And when you lose, you're a loser, right? But in thinking about those things, like I look back at those things, I don't regret a damn thing that I did because it made me the man that I am today. I commend Crawford. I commend Spence for taking this shot, man, putting it on the line. This is what legends are made of. That's why they say Muhammad Ali is the greatest, because he fought everybody. That's why, I got the opportunity to meet Sugar Ray Leonard. I was on the contender with him. That guy was trying to outwork us out at his age. He was jumping rope better than anybody else there because he wanted to be the best. You know what I mean? And I only met Floyd one time. I don't know him. I can't pick up the phone, and if he see me walking down the street, I'm just anybody else because I don't know him. But the time that I seen him, he wants to be the best. You could talk all the smack you want about him, but he wants to be the best. It doesn't matter what he is. He wants to be different. And you say he fought this guy in a late time. Listen, he fought more Hall of Famers than anybody else I know. And I'm not being an advocate for Floyd Mayweather. I commend Bud Crawford and Spence. I cannot wait. I'm chomping at the bit to see the fight.
Well, you know what? We've all had a great night talking about these different predictions and the state of boxing as far as other boxers. But this year, we've actually seen more competitive fights and a few of the elite fighters stepping up and being like, yeah, I want the smoke. I'm going to fight and we're going to see who's the best. So I'm hoping that that's a new trend in our culture for boxing, that they get out of this, what to my lips, to God's ears, that we start seeing more of these matchups actually happen. In a few months, September 30th, actually, we got Canelo versus Jermell Charlo, one of the twins out of Houston, Texas, going at it. And that's a situation where you would never think that 154 pounder is like, yeah, I want Canelo at 168 pounds. So, I mean, that's another situation where somebody's daring to be great. So we have to remember
a true fighter. I think that's a true fighter.
Yeah, and we got to reward these people when they want to do that. So I'm hoping everybody wants to pay for their actual pay-per-view this weekend and not go in the closet with their live fire stick if they don't have to, and actually pay for the better fight. Because that sends a message more than anything. When them dollars come in and it say, hey, that's a good matchup. They paid for this one and nobody complained. Now that's the trajectory that we want promoters and managers and boxing coaches and teams to start going towards.
Yeah. Well, I have one thing to say. I don't have to pay-per-view it because it's included in my cable package here in Colombia. So I'm okay.
I like
that. We'll give you a pass.
I plead the fifth.
Listen, what's the name of that Colombian package?
Yeah, we don't get that here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like paying for pay-per-views, trust me. But when it's something like this and they actually got the matchups right, and we get Nonito Donaire as the co-main event, and Cruz, I'm good.
I fought in the show. I fought in a show in Connecticut, and Nonito that was on the same show. We're talking, I don't know, 2004, whenever it was. It's like this dude doesn't get old.
He a cool dude too.
Yeah.
He real cool, Danny, ain't he?
You know what? I met him briefly. Like I said, I don't like to drop names because a lot of people I just don't know them. I met them, I don't know them. Right. But the time that I saw him, he was very soft-spoken to the side. And he beat the hell out of somebody that day. And it's like every other day I see him, like, this dude does not age. I don't know what it is, man. It's like I see him, he's like still the little guy that I remember back then.
Yeah, it's that Filipino bloodline that they don't age, right, Emilio?
Him and Pacquiao.
Yeah, because he's part Filipino too, and we all know he got the fountain of youth.
Hold on, I got my granddaughter here, so yeah.
Hey, granddaughter.
She's so cute.
Oh, beautiful.
I gotta go.
Let her tell us her line that she learned.
If you don't watch the fight, you're gonna get knuckle sandwich. Gotta tell him. Gotta tell him.
If you don't watch the fight, you're gonna get a knuckle sandwich when you
Gotta watch
the fight.
Last night she said, if you don't subscribe to the channel, you're gonna get a knuckle
like
sandwich.
I'd like to hire her. I'd like to hire her.
Yeah,
I know, right? She's supposed to give me a video. I'm waiting for her acting.
I need some reads. Yeah, we're gonna need some of that.
I gotta go do my granddaddy dudes.
All right, Danny.
All right, Danny. We appreciate you coming on tonight. Thank you.
All right, guys.
All right, Danny.
Okay, Tati, we had a great time with you tonight. And oh my God, I hope you learned a little bit more about boxing. And knowing you probably will put some money on somebody. Like you just focusing in that betting part.
I said it was Spence. I told you, I am. Look, I mean, I know too much, but you said it. I know numbers. So
Sherman pick.
Right. Sherman, tell us who you got. Let's see what he's saying here.
Sherman said Danny was
a hell of a fighter. Now he's saying, I didn't start a fight, but I could finish it.
Who said that?
Sherman.
I'm with you on that, Sherman.
It says, if it is a very good fight, neither one will feel bad about it. That's true. Like you do feel better when it's competitive. And you don't, Ian, Schoolboy, what's up, my friend?
Life grinding.
Yeah, he's grinding. Thank you so much, Schoolboy. I like that song that you sent Emilio the other night, man. We got to get you on here for a follow-up. I think Emilio's gonna do a cameo on one of them songs. Because I like that. I like that last one. I forget the name you sent them. But Tati, it's been forever, ever and ever. I hope we're longtime friends. I hope you come back on the show. We definitely invite you to join us again on another Boxing Playhouse After Dark. You know, our fans, ladies' night probably will be the next time that we can have you on. So we just want to say subscribe. Or you'll get a knuckle sandwich.
I love that. Thank you guys. Tokyo-ish podcast. That's Tokyo iSHH. So happy. It gave me a reason to put on makeup and look pretty and just get ready. I was doing nothing.
Absolutely, we appreciate it, and you were so much fun tonight. And also, I just want to say that you look gorgeous with that blonde straight hair, because I think last time we saw her, she had curly hair.
I had the gray, the gray like curl.
Yeah,
I was actually in my closet, like, well, which one did I have on? I had to go back and look at her photos. I was like, I don't want to.
This is what I'm wearing doing this particular month.
They say blondes have more fun, Toddy. Is that true?
It is, and you can't move in your wardrobe or you have a malfunction. I didn't want to malfunction, you guys, today. So I can't move too much.
Well, I mean, it looked great. It was amazing tonight. Yeah,
I know you can't see my kitty ears. I have these kitty ears.
I didn't see them. Oh, that is cute.
I have a background on, but my little kitty ears, and I was like,
oh wow, they really hit them great. All right. I've got to get some food in my stomach.
I know. Oh, you like? Thank you. Oh, in the club? Yeah.
Yeah, the club.
If I don't move.
It looks like a party bus to me.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, to me it looks like a party bus. You know how they have the lights up?
Oh, yeah.
You go back and
we'll
have the little pole in the back too.
Yeah, there's probably a pole. Well, I was gonna put a boxing one, but then in my outfit, I was like, doesn't go with it. I should have wore like a tank top. I'll get better. I'll get better.
Okay, no problem. I think they like the way you looked, and they like the questions that you gave all of our special guest experts. And also, you can find you where on all your social media?
Yep. You can find Tokyo-ish, that's Tokyo iSHH, on all streaming platforms. I'm on 88.9 The Mix 5 days a week with DJ H. Vidal. I'm everywhere. YouTube, what is that? TikTok, Snapchat, OnlyFans, everywhere you guys want to see me, I'm there.
That's right. She did say she got her OnlyFans, guys.
All right.
Go search her out. Okay.
So later I'll have a wardrobe malfunction. That's where that.
They can only wish. They can only wish. And Sherman says Crawford. He's going for Crawford.
Oh no, Spence.
Yeah. So it's either Spence with the dimples or Crawford with that mean green, angry machine called a Killer Instinct. Let's see who comes out on top. Thanks so much, guys, for joining us tonight. Make sure you subscribe and do all the likes and different things that you like to do. And let us know, just because the feed stops doesn't mean you can't add who you got. Thanks, and we'll see you next week on Boxing Playhouse After Dark in Latin America.